Okay, so I know this is a very random time for me to be doing my weekly video, but first of all, happy Thanksgiving and happy Rosh Chodesh Kislev. It's beginning the new Hebrew month of Kislev, and I'm doing the video right now because I am currently in a hotel room on my way en route tomorrow to Southampton, where I'm going to be speaking for Shabbos. So if anybody is in the Southampton area, I would love to see you. So I was thinking about when you want to clean up an area that's like really a mess, like a closet, something that's like hidden away, if it's that set of dressers or a closet where everything is so stuffed full, and you get this great idea that, you know what, I really want to like get this place organized, I want to get this thing all put together, and you go ahead and you open it up and you got to pull everything out, and the next thing you know, you have got the biggest mess in the world, and is completely overwhelming because you realize there's no way you are getting that thing put back together or organized anytime soon. And so the end result seems to look like a much bigger mess than it was in the first place. And temporarily, that's of course the case, because the process of getting it organized and put together first requires sometimes getting it all out there and figuring it out and getting rid of what you don't need and putting together in a clearer way what you do need. And I was thinking how that really relates on an emotional level, spiritual level, what is alluded to in this week's Torah portion of Toldot when it speaks about the wells that Isaac dug. And there are 3 wells that were dug. They're actually compared to the three temples in Jerusalem, the first 2 which were destroyed, the third one which still needs to be built, and one that will not be destroyed. And the 3 wells that he dug were given really interesting names. And first of all, the whole concept of digging a well means that you know that you're going to be revealing water. You're going to be allowing something that is life-sustaining to come out. But in order to get to that, you're going to need to dig through that mud, dig through that dirt, dig through and remove rock. And the process is going to create quite a mess. And prior to doing that, it's going to look great because it's all nice and smooth and fine and regular and land. And in the process of trying to get the well to work, you're going to create a muddy, ugly, messy mess. And eventually, though, it's going to reveal the water that's within. So this process of having to dig deep and what that means emotionally and what that process is very often when we recognize we've got stuff to work through. We've got stuff we got to clean up. We've got stuff we've got to get through. And we open it up, and that part of us, it all comes out, and it's got to be reorganized, and it's got to be worked through, and it's got to come back together. And until it does, we can really regret it. We can think, you know what, I was absolutely fine and functional and doing well. So I've got something in my eye. I can't focus. That I was doing great until I decided to address this issue, to focus on this this baggage, the ghosts in my closet, this trauma I never wanted to work through, because now it's all out there and it's really ugly and it's really difficult, and it would have been better off, left alone. And that's how it can feel, which is why the very first well is referred to as Esek, which means trouble, because very often it feels like the trouble that is coming out of it and the trouble we're creating and the issues that are coming about because of this, it wasn't worth the trouble. All right, like now I'm only dealing with the mess that I'm creating. The second well is referred to as sitna, which is hatred. And that can also be a process of dealing with our stuff, right? Dealing with our dirt, dealing with those rocks in our way, blocking the water that's there, and the water that's pure, and the water that's going to sustain us and give us life and be beautiful. But we got to get that junk out of the way. And therefore, the third well, which is the one that represents the Beit HaMikdash, right? The holy temple that will not be destroyed. And that idea, even Beit is Bayit, it's home, and Mikdash is holy. It's this idea that we need to create a holy space within us, that we all have our own microcosmic, individualistic, holy Beit HaMikdash temple within, and that is the well that is called Rehovot, which is this idea of like infinite breath, and the concept of like just, it's expansive and it's wide and it can't be limited in any way. And even the word for well, which is be'er, is related to the word levaer, which is like to explain. It makes sense now. I worked through it and I reorganized, I put it all back in, and now everything has a place and everything has a space and everything makes sense. And I examined it, I got rid of what didn't need to be there. And just like when we finally, put in that hard work that's needed to get that closet reorganized, or obviously on an emotional level to work through that junk drawer within, and to dig deep and to let that water then be able to rise up and flow and come forth without the mud and without the dirt, without the rocks, and without the sediment, without everything else, in the way. That is a process. And the first two stages of that process can be really difficult. It can be the trouble, it can be the hatred, the self-hatred, but eventually we will hit that place of infinite breath, of unlimited potential, and of revealed goodness. So being that it is Rosh Chodesh Kislev, Rosh Chodesh, Rosh is our head, where our brain sits, the way we think, the way we view the world around us, and Chodesh is connected to Chiddush, which is innovation, newness, an ability to see things differently. So we should all be blessed on this Rosh Chodesh to really be able to think in a new, innovative, clear, expansive way, to dig deep within and to reveal the waters that are waiting to come forth. And obviously connected with Thanksgiving, to always be grateful, to recognize the blessings in our life, to be thankful for them. And as I'm speaking about on Shabbos, that one of the best ways to tap into gratitude is through the process of giving. So with that, I hope you all have a beautiful Shabbos. I will say, oh, wow, so exciting to see all you guys here. Okay, so enjoy tonight and happy Thanksgiving, and I'll be in touch next week. Regards from Albany en route to Southampton. Take care.